Look, people, hey y'all, Danna here. I'm popping in with some yummy chicken and dressing. Remember, Thanksgiving's coming up and I'm getting a jump on these recipes so you'll remember how to make them. So here is chicken and dressing. This is Nanny Swan's version. Now remember, I cooked the turkey Nanny Swan's way. Now we're gonna do the chicken and dressing. And just so you'll remember, when I was a young married, I would call my nanny and say, how do I make this? Or how do I make this? And she would tell me and I would write it down, and I have a little book with all her directions in it. But I've decided to share that with you. So if you don't have a Nanny Swan that was an excellent cook, and I had a lot of grandmothers that were excellent cook, Granny Campbell, Nanny Swan, all of them and many more, we're going to share those recipes with you. And this is chicken and dressing. This is the way we Southerners make it. If you love a good chicken and dressing, give me a heart. Let me know who my chicken and dressing people are out there. Chicken and dressing, it's easy. It just takes a little know-how. Let me set this down. It's very hot. It just came out of the oven. Gonna get a bite of that later, but I want to tell y'all that sometimes there's no substitute for being in the kitchen with a cook who's done something before, and that's the way it is with our chicken and dressing. This is the real Southern way to make chicken and dressing. So I'm going to tell you what you need, and I'm going to show you this and see what you think about it. Look at this. This is a bunch of stale cornbread. Yes, people, this is the reason it's sometimes called cornbread dressing. Now look, somebody else in your life is going to need to know how to make cornbread dressing, so y'all go ahead and share this video. And remember, you can like it and save it, and it'll be on your stuff so you can find it again when you get ready to cook for Thanksgiving. So you're going to need some stale cornbread. Now this is about 2 to 3 pans. This is about 3 pans of cornbread, but I'm going to make a 8 by 13 dish of it, of dressing, so I probably won't use all this. But here's my stale cornbread. Now it's been sitting out getting stale, and if you don't have time to get it stale, you can pop it in, cut it up in chunks, pop it in your oven at 150 for a few hours, and it'll get good and stale for you. Why do you want stale cornbread? Because it's got to be able to absorb the liquid, and the liquid that we're going to put in it is the stuff from me cooking a chicken from hold on, let me get it, I'll show you. It's chicken broth. This is homemade chicken broth, and it's hot, and you do keep this hot while you're making your chicken and dressing. So here it is, and I boiled a chicken, and there's another video for that if you don't know how to do it. Okay, hold on. So that's one of the things you need. Another thing you're going to need is this beautiful sage. Now I grow my own sage, but if you don't grow your own sage, get you some out of the produce department at the grocery store. And my sage is kind of small, but that's okay. And what I'll do is show you how to cut it up. And I'm going to tell you exactly what Nanny Swan said to do to make the sage good. Now, my family likes heavy sage flavor. If your family doesn't like heavy sage flavor, you just don't put as much in there. So anyway, you're going to need some sage. And I grow that out on my back porch. All right, let's get started making this stuff. The first thing you got to do, oh, you're going to need some chicken as well, and I have that right over here. But the first thing we got to do is just crumble up all this cornbread. And you do want to crumble it, and it is supposed to feel stale. Now, this is our Southern way to do chicken and dressing. This is our cornbread dressing. How do you make yours? I would love to hear about it. I'm very curious about other people's recipes. So if you have a recipe for that you want to share, go ahead and share it below. Now y'all look, I know a lot of you are going to say, aren't you going to put onions in it? A lot of people do put onions in it, but my Nanny Swan didn't, and I don't either. So when you want to add your onions, you'll want to sweat them out and add them after you get the cornbread done. But we don't do that in our family, but you do it if you want it in yours. It's perfectly wonderful. I like it with or without onions, but anyway, the family recipe is not with onions. It's a basic cornbread and chicken. Ooh, how are y'all doing today? I have been really excited to get in here and cook. And I kept waking up last night thinking, oh, tomorrow I get to make chicken and dressing, yay. So my family loves it, and I love making it. But if you've never been in the kitchen with somebody making it, you do kind of need to see how we make it because it's hard to explain. So I'm just going to let you in here with us and you can see what's what on this. It won't take long. We'll have this in the oven. And a hint that my mother gives is if you have cornbread left during the year that somebody didn't eat, you just pop that in a plastic bag and pop it in the freezer. And then by the time you get ready to make dressing, you'll have enough cornbread. And you won't have to make extra. All right, this is about enough right here. I haven't used all this cornbread, but I've used most of it. Now, when my grandkids come over to help me, I have to make extra cornbread and some of it fresh because they like to eat it while we're working. All right, let me move that out of the way. Pull something else over here. I'm going to pull over the broth. Okay, here's the hot broth that I'm pulling off the stove top. And also I need to chop up the meat and put in there. So I'm going to do that right now over here on my cutting board. I don't know if you can see it or not, but rest assured I'm chopping my chicken. Because you do want a good bit of chicken in there. I like a good bit of chicken in there, but you don't have to. If you don't like a good bit of chicken, I've got about 3 cups of chicken here. Okay. Get that in there, right? All right, and the good thing about this is you get a chicken treatment on your hands. Hold on a minute, let me wipe my hands. All right, here we go. Now the next thing we're gonna do is add a little bit of broth. Now you add it slow so that it can absorb. You don't glop it all in there. You just start adding it and swirl it around your pan. I'm going to do a few scoops of my ladle, and then I'm going to let it sit there and absorb for a minute. Do y'all like my little pan here? This was my Nanny Swan's dish. She used this to shell peas in, to make dressing in, all kind of stuff. And this is hers, and I'm lucky to have it, and I really appreciate it. It's one of those treasures that I love. And I'm hoping it gives me a little oomph when I'm making that chicken and dressing. All right, while that's soaking in, I'm going to tell you what to do with the sage. First of all, if however you get it, you want to get your leaves. Ooh, those don't want to come off. Get your leaves and tear your leaves off. You don't want those thick woody stalks. And what I do is stack mine together and do a few little chops. Let me show you. I've got 2 cameras going here, so I think I got to scoot over to show one of the cameras. All right, here's my little ulu, and y'all, I'm about to cut this up. I'm going to cut them up in kind of big pieces, and then I'm going to show you what Nanny said to do with them. Y'all ready? She said to get your sage and hold it in your hand, and you start rubbing it like this. And you rub it and rub it and rub it until it starts falling out the bottom, and what that does is activate the oils in there, so it will be delicious. Now I'm going to cut these up. Ooh, it smells so good in here. I'm going to cut these up a little bit more and do this again. Now my family likes heavy sage. If you don't do as much. But you just rub it and my hands smell delicious. All right, now what we're going to do is put a little bit more of the stock in here. Okay, it's getting in there. Let me grab my spoon and we're going to start stirring this up. Now, you may say, why haven't you salted that yet? Well, I'm going to tell you that my stock is fully seasoned and has salt in it. And so does my meat, and so does my cornbread. So I'm not going to put salt or pepper in it at this point. I'm going to taste of it first. And this is part of the joy of being in the kitchen and making your dressing. Now this is not near wet enough. We're going to add some more juice around the pan. And y'all, what you're doing really is turning this cornbread back into a batter. And you will see that it looks like a batter when I get through with it. So we're gonna let it absorb. It's not wet enough yet, I can tell, but we're gonna get it there. I want you to see how to do it. Now this is something that we can't let fall by the wayside. So we got to know how to cook cornbread, chicken, and dressing like true Southerners do, and this is how you do it. Okay, it's still not wet enough. We're gonna add some more. You can see why I had a big pot of chicken stock, because it takes a lot to turn it back into a batter. There we go. Now while I'm stirring this, I'm gonna tell you that my recipe is on page 3 of Happiness is Homemade, y'all, and you can buy it on Amazon. It'll come right to your house. If you want it today, you can get ebook. It'll come right to your device. So Happiness is Homemade, y'all. It's on Amazon. And I would like to thank everybody that's written such nice reviews. Y'all go on there and write me one. And thank you for the encouragement, y'all. It means a lot to me. You just don't know. There we go. We're going to add a little bit more because this is not where it needs to be yet. And see, it's a joy if you ever get to be in the kitchen with your Southern grandmother, to be in there with them as you're making the chicken and dressing, because, you know, there's talk, and then there's tasting, and then there's, you know, catching up on family stuff, and then you got to taste it. So this is almost getting ready. It's wet, but it's not wet enough yet. But I got to taste it first and see what it tastes like. Get me a fresh spoon. See if it tastes right. See what it needs. All right, y'all ready? Oh man, that's good. Does it need anything? I think it might need a little bit more sage. And see, when you have aunts and everybody in the kitchen with you, helping you, they all have to discuss, I think it needs this, I think it needs that. It's just one of the joys of getting together and doing that. And I remember it from when I was a little girl. And you don't realize how special those memories are going to be until you're my age and you're like, oh, I wish I'd go back to my grandmother's kitchen again. Okay, let's get that going. A little more sage for me, and I think I'm going to put a little black pepper in there. Yeah, are y'all pepper people like I am? It does not need salt. And I'm going to add just a little bit more of this. And you know, my grandkids have helped me make this before. We had the best time in the kitchen, but they're at school today. Because, you know, they're out Thanksgiving week, but you know, this is Halloween week, so we're at a different time when I'm showing you how to make this. But y'all remember to save this and share it, because somebody else might need to know how to make it. All right, it's just about thin enough. See, it's just about, and I got to tell you, did you hear it glop? We got to add some eggs. In my family, we add eggs. And somebody says, why do you add eggs? Because it helps set it. Okay, it helps set it and it keeps it moist. It's just really delicious to add eggs. So that's what I'm going to do. Just like my nanny said. All right. We're going to blend these up real well and then pour them right in. And your oven should be on 350. This is going to cook for about an hour at 350. Alrighty. I'm going to stir that up good. And then, I got to tell y'all something, it's hot in my kitchen. Ooh-wee. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Get that stirred up and you can see what it looks like. Okay, y'all, this is looking just about right. I'm going to add just a smidge more of this and thin it out just a little more. Yes, this is going to be so good. Now, if you don't have time to poach your own chicken, you can use store-bought ingredients. You could buy a chicken that's already cooked, and get it off the bone, and you could buy chicken broth. Oh, y'all, this is perfect. I just want to show it to you. See that? It's perfect. Now, if you'll notice, I'm not going to taste it anymore after I added the egg. Okie dokie. It's perfect, and I'm going to pour it up into my baking dish. Let me get my spray. All right, here we go. Here's my spray, and y'all, I do this because ease of cleanup is where I'm at. Okay, people. We are about to have some really good chicken and dressing going in the oven at my house. Oh, yeah. Now, if you don't know how to do this, you can always watch me do it, and you can also get my book. It tells you exactly how to do it. Look how beautiful. Look, y'all, it goes right to the rim just like I wanted. There we go. That's going to be so good. Now, I'm going to tell you a Southern mama trick. If you don't want it to look plain on the top and you want it to be pretty, get a little paprika and sprinkle it over the top. And we just want to do that to make it beautiful and give it a little taste. See, that's going to be so beautiful when I pull it out of the oven. All right, this has got to cook for an hour at 350. Then you pull it out, let it sit a little bit, and then it's time to dig in and eat. So I'll be right back with you. Let me put it in the oven. And then we will taste of my other one. Oh, it's still a little hot. Here it is. This is the small one that I made that's already ready for me to taste. Now, let me get me a spoon and I'm ready to go. If you've enjoyed this today, y'all give me a thumbs up, and y'all please share it so other people can make really good, true Southern chicken and dressing. Now, y'all look at that. Oh my goodness. Y'all are gonna love me for this. My husband's gonna be so happy. I always like getting brownie points with my cute husband. Y'all should see him. He's adorable. All right, y'all, look at that. Look, it's smoking hot. Chicken and dressing. Real Southern chicken and dressing. This is the way you make it. Y'all hang with me. Good things are coming. I'm going to take a bite. It's so hot, y'all. Wish me luck. Y'all. I gotta have one more. Hang on. It is just right. It is so good. I gotta quit eating so I can talk to you. It is creamy, and the top is firm. It's creamy. The chicken is divine. And that broth in there just turns that cornbread. It does some kind of magic, and it makes that cornbread into a wonderful another world of eating. Y'all, it's delicious. The sage is just right. Oh, I'm going to take this bite for you. This is for you. I love it. I love it. I love those traditional recipes, and I hope you'll pass this on. Y'all share it with somebody. Make it. Let me know if you make it. Post a picture so I can see how pretty yours is. And y'all know what I'm always going to tell you, what I always tell you. The good Lord loves you, and He does, and I love you too. And y'all go out and make some traditional recipes. Make some chicken and dressing the Southern way. You're going to love it. All right. Love you. Bye-bye.